Today is the video I'm going to be doing algebra. I apologize for the delay. I have calls because I don't really get to post more videos on my channel, but I will be more consistent following this video. Now, you may be asking yourselves, what is algebra? And this may actually sound pretty vague, but I'm only going to be following the basics for this video. So, algebra is when you either have an equation or inequality or something else which has an unknown variable. For example, it could be x plus 10 equals 21, and x will be the unknown. So usually you either have to make x a subject or just change it so you can form an equation with it to solve it, or you just have to solve it directly. So in this case, where x plus 10 equals 21, what you have to do is do 21 minus 10, since the inverse of plus 10 is minus 10, and to get x on its own, you need to ensure that anything dividing by it or multiplied by it, subtracting it or adding it, is gone. So let me give you something. So the inverse of addition is subtraction, and the inverse of subtraction is addition. So that means if you add something to x and you have to solve for x, then you have to subtract that same number. But if you have x and it's being subtracted by something, then you have to add it so you can remove it. So in this case, x will equal 11, because if you subtract the plus 10, so 10 minus 10 obviously equals 0, 21 minus 10 will equal 11, so x will be 11. Now, let's think of something slightly harder. Now, it's going to be x over 7 equals 56. Now, this is harder because what you have to do is just trying to think of something to multiply by. That's essentially what you have to do. So, if you divide something, you have to multiply it by the same number so it all cancels out. And if you divide it, and if you multiply it by something, then you have to divide it so it all cancels out. So let's go back to the example. X over 7 equals 56. What you would have to do in this case is multiply by 7, so it all cancels out and you get x on its own. It will be x equals 7 times 56, and that would be x equals 392. So remember, if you multiply a number, you have to cancel it out by dividing it. If you add a number, to cancel it by subtracting it, and vice versa. That's what it applies to. And that principle can be basically applied to pretty much any algebra question that you're doing, or if you have to form an equation or an inequality, solve it. For inequalities, it's the same, except you don't have equals. You have either greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. So essentially, you just follow the same steps. If it's an inequality or an equation, it's not really any different. So I hope you learned something from this algebra video, and if you haven't understood it before, I hope you understand it better now. Be bright, stay right, have a good day, and ensure you like, comment, and subscribe.